Okay, this lesson will be on Roman numerals from section 5.2 of your book. It's helpful if you have that worksheet with all of the different number system values on it while you were doing this lesson, and if you have the notes for the Roman numerals. The rules for evaluating Roman numerals are listed here. Rule 1, if you repeat a letter, you repeat its value. Rule 2, if a letter is positioned immediately after another letter of greater numerical value, we add its value, which means basically if you have all of your values from highest to lowest, then you're just going to add them. Rule 3, if a letter is positioned immediately before another letter of greater numerical value, you subtract its value. Meaning if it's out of order, it's not going from largest to smallest, but you have one going from smallest to largest, you're going to subtract those values. And then rule 4, I call that the sandwich rule. If you have a letter positioned between two letters, each of greater value, then you subtract the middle value from the sum of the two around it. I'll give you examples of all of those as we move on. Alright, so the first example uses Rule 1. You'll see that we're repeating a letter, so we repeat its value. So the first thing I do is to go ahead and write down the value for each of these symbols. So x is 10. Since there's two of the x's, you're repeating its value. You simply add them together, and this evaluates to the number 20. Okay, for this one, first start off writing down the value for C is 100. The value for M is 1000. You see that this is going to be using Rule 3. The numbers are not in decreasing order, so you switch them around, making this 1000 minus 100, and that would be 900. Okay, let's evaluate number 3. The L is a 50, the I is 1, and the X is 10. That's using Rule 4. You see that we have two greater values positioned around a smaller value, so we add the two greater values and subtract the middle value, so you end up with a value of 59. Okay, let's get a little more complicated. Always start off by writing down the values for your letters. M is 1000, C is 100, M is 1000. L is 50, X is 10, V is 5, and I is 1. Now this is Rule 4, where you've got two greater values surrounded around a lesser value. So we're going to add these two outer numbers, subtract the middle, so that would end up being 1900. These are all in largest to smallest order, so you simply add them. So 50 plus 10 plus 10 plus 5 plus 1 is going to be 76. So add those two and you get 1976. Okay, let's try one more. First write down the values. So M is 1000, C is 100, M is 1000. Then we have L is 50, X is 10, I is 1, and V is 5. So once again you have your sandwich rule here, and then here you've got numbers out of order. So in the middle these numbers are all in order. You're just going to add all of those. These you're going to switch and subtract and then add that sum. And then here you're going to add those two greater values, subtract the middle. So you're going to get the 2000 minus 100. Okay? So this will give you 1900 plus, this is going to give you 80, plus 4, so that number is 1984. Okay, now what we want to do is take a regular number, our number, Hindu, Arabic, standard, decimal, whatever you want to call it, This is our base 10 number, and we want to convert it to Roman numerals. So looking at your chart, the 1,000 is going to be M, and 500 is going to be D. And that's all you needed in order, so we would add them, and that's the Roman numeral. Okay? The rule with Roman numerals is that you cannot repeat a letter more than 3 times in a row. So the problem with number 7 is if you use the X for the 10 and 4 I's, you cannot repeat 4 letters in a row. So that is invalid. What we have to do is come up with another way to find 4 using that rule 3 where we have to subtract. So that's where you're going to say XIV so that you take the 1 and the 5, switch and subtract to get 4. So anytime you see a 4 or a 9, you're going to run into that rule 3 idea. Okay? Number 8, 39. Well, 30 would be 3 X's, and that's fine. You can repeat 3 times, just not more than 3. 9 would normally be V and 4 I's, but we know we cannot have 4 letters in a row. So instead of writing V and 4 I's, we have to come up with another way with the subtraction. So we're going to put IX, meaning subtract 1 from 10. So there's my 9, and that's 39. Okay, let's try 54. 50 is L, no problem there, but we have that complicated 4. Remember, anytime you see 4, you're going to subtract 1 from 5. Anytime you see 9, you're going to subtract 1 from 10. So we're going to take 4 is IV. Okay, on your test, you're just going to have a problem that's going to look like this, meaning I want you to evaluate the sum or difference, meaning an addition or subtraction problem, and then write your answer in both Arabic, that's our numbers, and Roman numerals. So what you're going to do first is convert the Roman numerals to our numbers, do the arithmetic, in this case subtraction, and then convert that answer back to Roman numerals. Okay? So we start off by first translating these values. X is 10, L is 50, I is 1. You see these numbers are out of order, so you switch and subtract, and then we're going to add this last one. So this is going to be 40 plus 1, or 41, for that first number. This next number, you have 3 X's, so that's 10, 10, 10. Then you have an I, which is 1, and a V, which is 5. Here's your switch and subtract, and then we're going to add all of these plus that difference. So this is going to be 30 plus 4, or 34. Now we do the arithmetic. Well, the arithmetic here is a subtraction. So 41 minus 34 equals 7. And that's my first answer that I want expressed as an Arabic number. Now you need to convert that to a Roman numeral. So we start by saying, well, 7 could be made up as 5 and 2. So that would be VII. You didn't repeat anything more than 3 times, so that's the valid answer. Let's do one last example. All right, translate first. So 50 for the L, 10 for the X's, 5 for the V. Those are all in order. We add them to get the number 75. This value, you have 10, 10, 10, 1, and 1. They're all in order. You add them, you get the number 32. Do the arithmetic. This happens to be an addition problem, so 75 plus 32 equals 107. Okay, so now you want to convert the 107. So 100 is C, and 7 was VII. You didn't repeat anything more than 3 times. That's valid.